welcome to Critical Conversations, the show where we take your calls and all of that fun stuff. Looks like we got sound and everything. The chat box on the screen is insane. I could not deal with that before. Just have a technical problem with that. It will display your comments as we go here, but it just kind of keeps repeating the last one until a new one comes up for some reason. So let's see here. Man, exciting times tonight.
That is for sure.
Yes, live from Denver. It is Wednesday night. So, we are pretty excited. We are pretty happy tonight because, hey, everybody who's checking in here, loved the the comments you guys were talking about before the show about the Wendy's. Oh, boy. All right, good. So we got people checking in here. Everybody seems pretty happy. And today is a day to be happy in the world of Scientology. And I'm just going to lead with this because, the last week or so has just been kind of hellacious a little bit for me. So there's Twitter drama and losing friends over stuff. And I said at the beginning, there's something up with the chat box. I could not solve it, and I figured, well, I'd rather have the chat box up and showing your comments repeatedly than not showing them at all. So that's why that's that way. Anyway, social media drama in my life and losing some friends, including some people I really did not want to. Over miscommunications, stupid stuff that goes on, and name calling, which I don't really put up with on social media so well. It really, and that kind of thing. And I'm getting better. Hey, Couch, thank you very much for that.
Thank you,
that
Couch.
Super chat. And speaking of 7, actually, let us not forget there is our 7 cam, and there he is. Enjoying his, humdrum existence there.
Aw, twitching his little ear.
Yeah, he's such a little cutie. So that is our 7 the Wonder Cat cam. We can check in with him throughout the evening here. And, so as I was saying, kind of a sucky week in some ways for that. But then today, everything because for those of you who, of course, I'm sure most of you guys, especially Scientology watchers, have heard. Thanks, Flint. Thank you for that super chat. Danny Masterson was arrested today.
Yay.
Yeah, this is like da, 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 da. In fact, let's see. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That is an amazing thing. I finally got to use the applause. Woo. And this has been years coming, many years. In fact, the first incident on record that we have from the charges was 2001, 2000. This is 20 years ago that this guy has been getting away with this. And I knew about him in the church, not about any of this. I mean, not at all. I just knew he was a celebrity. He was over at Celebrity Center, where I was not very often located, but I had actually had a report on him cross my plate randomly at one point, and it was about his partying and drinking and drugs as a Scientologist. And this was, and he was in trouble, and somebody was writing a report on him. And so I knew even back then he was this kind of out of control guy. It's not like he's, been strictly under the thumb of Scientology. I believe he's a second generation Scientologist. I think he and his sister, Alana, I think her name is.
I have no idea.
She was on The Walking Dead. She's a celebrity too.
Oh, okay.
But I think their family, I should have looked it up beforehand. But anyway, he got arrested today. He got charged with, 3 or 5 counts?
I think it was 3, but yeah.
Yeah, 3 counts. 4 victims initially came forward during the LAPD investigation. I'm reading from the Underground Bunker, Tony Ortega's brilliant daily blog on Scientology. And today he really came impressively in with the story on this. Los Angeles DA Jackie Lacey seeking 45 to life under harsh statute for him, right? And internal church documents confirmed accounts of one accuser. And we'll get into, maybe I'll comment a little bit more about this, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the church has all kinds of evidence that they have not given over.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so we're going to see how this thing rolls out. But he got arrested. He is in trouble. He apparently turned himself in.
Wow.
I guess they told him, or he knew it was coming through his lawyer or something. I don't know how those things work. And, yeah, exactly. Celebrity Center. I have done videos with Nora Crest. You might want to check those out because she worked at Celebrity Center, and she dishes on Celebrity Center way more than I ever could in our talks. So check those out. Okay, so he gets charged with these counts. He immediately makes bail. I think it was 3.1 or 3.3 million, which means he had to put up 10% of that cash, which he did, and he is going to be arraigned in September. And that's all that we got right now as far as the story of what happened today. But this is a major change for him, for the church. There have been criminals in Scientology's past who have made headlines. Reed Slatkin was probably one of the more spectacular ones, as he was kind of this Bernie Madoff pyramid scheme. Ponzi scheme, rather, I should say. Investment guy that I knew also in Santa Barbara. I never actually met Danny Masterson. I just knew of him. But Reed Slatkin I'd actually known, and I'd serviced his family in Scientology stuff. So he got busted real hard, ended up going to jail. And, there's no certain prediction on how Scientology will deal with this. Oh, good. We got a couple calls in in the thing here. We will be getting to you guys. I can't tell you right now whether they're going to cut, throw him under the bus, the Church of Scientology, whether they're going to throw Danny Masterson under the bus and just like, no, we don't know him. We never really dealt with him, sort of PR statements.
Who's Danny Masterson?
Yeah, Danny Masterson. Who's that? Or are they going to go double down and defend him, right? Oh, did we get another one?
Yep.
Awesome, you guys. Oh, PZ. Thank you. I'm getting that Z right now. Hey, London. Okay, so thank you for that. Okay, so I can't tell you right now where the church is going to fall with this guy. If they throw him under the bus, that would be predictable. But if they double down and, go all in on his defense and provide witnesses and affidavits and all this stuff, like they have been doing all these years, the Church of Scientology has absolutely covered up for Danny Masterson. They, like Tony reported, we know. Oh, that's interesting. Ex-Scientology. I'll mention that. So. We know that that from the reporting that there are internal church documents that verify the accusations of at least one of Danny Masterson's accusers. I know how Scientology works, so I know there's a lot more than just one or two documents. There are files. There are probably videotapes of confessionals and on the meter. And like they do in Scientology. And there are definitely written reports and lots of paperwork connected with all of this. This stuff all goes through what's called the President's Office at the Celebrity Center International in Los Angeles. But you can bet, absolutely, I would absolutely bet any amount of money that I get distracted by the comments. That David Miscavige knows all about this, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Personally briefed on every aspect of this, probably directing the church's actions on it, the PR statements, everything else. If he's not writing or immediately standing over the person who is writing the statements and stuff, there's just no way that that's not the case. He is definitely all over this one because this is massive exposure for the church. The Danny Masterson case has been defended tooth and nail by the church all these years because of that exposure. I mean, there were, I think, a number of accusers, and I think all but one of them are former Scientologists, and including his ex girlfriend, the one who'd been with him for like 6 years. So you can check out Tony Ortega's blog for all the details of the reporting. I don't really want to read the whole thing here with callers in the queue. So what I want to do is actually get to those because this is a call-in show. So here we go. First with Mark. Okay, hello.
Yes, I've been hearing what's going on in Seattle, all the riots and this Black Lives Matter crap. I live 40 miles north of Seattle.
Ah, that must be an interesting place to be right now.
And right now, what I truly believe with these Black Lives Matter, what I truly believe they want is immunity from the law. They want to be able to commit whatever crime they want and get away with it.
Let me ask you a question. What leads you to believe that? Because I don't believe that's true. But what leads you to believe that that is true?
No, they're just their actions. They have taken over parts of Seattle. They got barricades. They run around armed.
Well, I understand that things there are pretty chill, though. I mean, I do understand that there are possibly people with weapons. It's a little controversial because Fox News got busted for photoshopping a picture about that. That photo on Fox News was not an accurate photo, but I'm not saying that that you shouldn't be concerned or there's no reason to be concerned. You live there. You see it more than, you're closer to it than I am. But the reports we're getting about it are not that awful from what I've read so far. I don't know. What are you seeing?
No, unfortunately, I've never. I don't go to Seattle unless I got a damn good reason to. But I've never liked Seattle.
Yeah,
it's just.
I can understand that.
There's just too much bullshit. There's just too much bullshit going on, and we have an incompetent governor, and the Seattle mayor has pretty much turned over Seattle to the protesters. Just handed it over to them, serve platter, and the police have been told to stand down, don't do nothing, and just let these people do whatever the damn hell they want.
I hear you, and there are definitely. Yeah, I hear you.
And that really pisses me off because Inslee, he's also, because of virus crap, he's cost a lot of people their jobs. He's forced a lot of companies to close or damn near close. And I work in manufacturing, and a lot of shops that I know are hanging on by the fingernails or on the verge of closing because of him and his flat out incompetence. And now the mayor of Seattle has just giving Seattle handed Seattle over to these protesters, let them do what the damn hell they want.
Well, I think you might want to check out a little bit more of the reporting on it, since you're not going into the city yourself and seeing it with your own two eyes. Because I understand you hate it, and there is a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. But I don't think it's as bad as you might imagine it to be right now from what you're hearing or seeing. And I would encourage you to actually go check it out for yourself, so you get your own view of it in real time. You know what I mean?
If I go anywhere near Seattle, I'm taking some iron with me.
Well, fair enough. If you have that right there, I don't know if Seattle is a open carry state.
I have no idea.
But I do know. I mean, whatever you have the legal right to do, I'm not telling you not to. You keep yourself safe. But I think you'll find that it's not quite as anarchy as you might imagine it to be, and as some of the reporting has been. And that's all I'm saying is go check it out for yourself, because I'd actually like to hear what you see with your own two eyes.
Yeah, but I just heard what you said about Scientology, and I'm glad they're finally getting some major heat taken toward them, and that this air of invincibility is being chipped away.
Exactly. Me too, man. We are very happy about that, and I'm glad we all agree on that.
It's even like I've heard about Scientology for a while, but just the last 8 months, I've been kind of really diving into it, and it really makes me appalled of what's going on, and I'd love nothing more to see bulldozers to take out take out all these ugly buildings.
Okay. Well, I hope that I just hope things calm down and we can all get along. That's pretty much where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mark. I'm gonna have to let you go, but thanks for calling in, man.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Cool. Joyce, I think I lost you. I had you in the queue, so if you want to call back, now is perfectly a good time because there isn't anybody else in the queue. And anyway, yeah, I get it, guys. I've seen some of your comments here. I am happy to converse with pretty much anybody who calls in, as long as they're not being abusive to me or my wife, right? I'm interested in differing points of view, and I'm interested in encouraging people to find out for themselves what's going on out there,
That's
because
the only way to learn.
Well, that's the thing, I want to encourage that. I want to push in that direction. I'm not great on social media. I'm really not. But, I think when you have an opportunity to talk to somebody, you have an opportunity to create a teaching moment or a learning moment of some kind. And I don't want that to come off as hokey or sort of, yeah, I'm not teaching moment. I mean, I'm not trying to be goofy, but if people call me, I want to try to take advantage of that.
Exactly.
And use their time to do something good. So, thanks, Flint. Yeah, my dad jokes are abysmal. All right. Yes, and I will remind everybody, thanks for on the comments there. If you call in, when you call in, turn the volume down in the background so that so we're not hearing me twice over. All right. Chris, you've said, just when you think Scientology couldn't get any worse, can you remember how you said it? Is so true. Just when you think Scientology couldn't get any worse. I'm having a mind blank on having said that before.
I mean,
just when you think Scientology couldn't get any worse. How's that?
I liked it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Cool. All right, let's see. All right, let's go in here. We're going to talk to Luann Jones, I believe. All right, hello.
Hey, Chris. Great to talk to you again. Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Just calling to say I'm so excited about Danny Masterson's arrest today. I can't believe it finally happened.
Yeah, it's so exciting, huh?
I know it is. Wondering what kind of an uphill battle you think it's going to be.
Oh, it's going to be a tough one. This is going to be a knockdown, drag out no matter what. I mean, Masterson's not poor. The guy has, access to very, very good attorneys. And and obviously they're going to fight it. Today there was a statement issued by his attorney. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did read that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's on Tony's site, guys, and he's saying we're confident it'll all be exonerated when all the evidence finally comes to light. Yeah. I'm only the only thing I'm concerned about that I think would be necessary or very, very, very useful in terms of evidence for this thing is I really hope that the prosecutor understands what the Church of Scientology is and Danny Masterson's relationship to it, because that's going to be crucial for evidence if they can subpoena the church for those records. And that itself could become a knockdown, drag-out fight because the church would fight it under grounds of religious freedom. But if you have evidence of a crime and confidential files, it seems to me that information should come out. You know, what do you think?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would definitely hope so. You know, I would hope that they could get all the records that they need. And I would hope that they could even show cover up from the Church of Scientology.
Mhm. Exactly.
You know,
I want the people who
I'm
aided and
hoping-
abetted this to go down too.
Exactly.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love to see
I
David
almost
Miscavige
called.
knocked down.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I would just love to see David Miscavige knocked down like a little bit more. I mean, I
Oh
know
my
he
God,
can't go
yeah.
much lower, but you know, a little bit anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
He's already about as low as he can go, but
Exactly. Unfortunately, I'm not confident in any way that this will ever get back to Miscavige. There's too
Probably
many
not.
layers and there's too much plausible deniability that he insulates himself with, and anyone in the church would throw themselves on a sword for him, right? So I'm
right.
not looking at this as a way to take him down, but I do believe that Scientologist Sea Org members who work with Danny Masterson through this president's office, I believe they could be charged credibly with aiding and abetting, and I think, or something like that. I'm no law expert, but something that would show accessory, you know, and that would be
Right.
awesome.
Well, you know, and then it kind of has the dominoes effect because, you know, if that does happen, then other Sea Org members see this happening. And so maybe, you know, next time something else like this comes up, they might say, you know, no, I'm not going to cover this up. You know, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to keep my butt out of this so
That's
that
right.
I'm not charged later.
That's right. Oh, there would be a definite sea change within the Celebrity Center office. I mean, you know, unfortunately, what's going to happen first is everybody connected with this thing is going to get roasted and toasted and probably kicked out of the church.
Right.
You know, if they don't do the RPF anymore, which I don't know if that's true or not, that they do or don't, but if they don't, then they'll just kick them out. Otherwise, they would RPF these guys. You know, everybody
Yeah, I
connected
have a
with
hard
it.
time believing there's not. I have a hard time believing there's not some kind of an RPF.
I do too. I really do have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
So that's what they tend to do with situations like this. And so the Sea Org discipline is just going to be ruthless. And then we'll see. We'll see how the church responds to this. They're going to have to respond somehow. And hopefully in the next day or two, you know, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to
Awesome.
express my excitement and you know, that last caller kind of had me upset because any call that starts with this Black Lives Matters crap.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did he say? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
yeah. Anyway, well, you guys have a good night.
Thank you very much. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. And let's go to Paul, maybe from London. Hopping on here. Hello.
Yes, hello, Chris.
Hey.
Hi, Chris. It's Paul from London.
Hey, Paul. How's it going, man?
It's 2:24 a.m. and
Wow.
I'm barely awake.
Damn,
Yeah.
man. I wish I could do this thing at a different time to appeal to you guys too, and I do eventually plan on doing this on Saturdays, but not for a little while. So I apologize for keeping you up like this.
That's no problem. Don't worry. It's always entertaining to listen. It's good stuff.
Awesome.
I just wanted to give you a quick call just to say I don't know how much you know about how things are happening over here in the UK as a result of this Black Lives Matter mission and the George Floyd tragedy.
Yeah.
It's really resonating over here.
Awesome. What is
So much
happening?
so, well, apart from people protesting in the streets generally, which is more or less the same as you have over there, most of our politicians in most of the leading cities are starting to examine statues that have been put up like 200, 300 years ago.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, I heard about one.
Like the
Yeah.
slave trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an Edward Colston was
Yep.
actually pulled down and thrown into the river in Bristol, one of our cities over here.
Wow.
But they're also looking at like schools, churches, road names, historical plaques, landmarks. Everything is really being examined. Should we really have these things named after these people anymore? And that's all really happening because of what's happened.
Wow.
And I was also surprised today when I saw the news that was it in Atlanta or somewhere? Some guy got shot again by the police 2 or 3 days ago.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. The
It's
taser
crazy.
incident.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've got a couple things to say about that in terms of the taser incident, but I don't, I want all the facts to come out on that because, if you take a taser away from a cop and you point it at him, the equation is not just taser less than gun, so don't shoot him, because there's more to that equation. If you get tased by a person who has taken your taser, that person can then take your gun, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand the point.
Yeah.
But you'd think they'd be a little bit more sensitive at the moment.
I do get that, and I know it's hard for me to even put that out there. I'm not trying to put my thumb on the scale or something. I know that this is really, really, really hot right now, and I support the Black Lives Matter movement. So yeah.
Yeah, just very briefly, you mentioned last week, or it might be the week before, that over here in the UK, our police regularly don't carry guns. We do obviously have armed police, but they're sort of kept locked up away somewhere until they're needed.
Yeah.
But when a police officer in this country, in the UK, discharges his firearm, he's instantly, after the incident's been resolved, is suspended and his badge and gun are taken off him. And an independent commission consider whether or not he acted proportionally. If he did, he's reinstated. If he's not, he gets a desk job or he's charged. And that's all done independently. And that's something I don't think you have over there, because I hear the police in the US.
Yeah, no, we have an internal affairs division within the police forces, and I believe there are some third-party agencies that will do investigations, but mostly it rolls up to the FBI. Like the federal level is what ends up being our third-person objective investigator of local or city or state cops. And I'd like to see something different than that as part of the whole rework here. I think we could learn a lot from some aspects of what you guys are doing over there.
Well, the general concept is if the police don't carry a gun, you won't need to take one if you're going to rob something or whatever. That's the general theory, and it kind of works most of the time. But there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've kept off enough people now. Have a wonderful evening.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'll catch up with you soon. Take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Good night.
All right. Cool. All right. So, as far as my controversial statements about the taser thing, look, it'll all come out in the trial, okay?
Exactly.
Let's just have justice carry forward on, and we can all have lots of opinions about this thing. This isn't going to be the hill I'm going to die on, okay? It's like, I got a lot of things to say about all this. And by the way, the live stream that I did yesterday was not at all how I actually imagined that was going to go. I'm not going to apologize for it exactly, but I am going to say that I probably will do another one next week by myself, and I'll just kind of make my case for the whole cop training, vetting, reorganization kind of stuff that I have on my mind about it, because I think I have the gall or ego or whatever to think I might have something to contribute to the conversation, and I a little bit. I'm not. Whatever. It's a conversation, So anyway, put that out there. All right. So let's see here. All right. Well, apparently I'm wrong no matter what. So let's go
much how life works.
Oh, nope. Okay, nobody in the queue right now. So if you want to call in, now's a good time. 984-214-4154. Did I miss anything questions-wise that we might want to take up on the Danny thing?
I don't.
Oh, and I am perfectly, ex-Scientologist is asking, I assume you're okay with Brandon. Yeah, of course I am. Brandon and I are great. We're friends and all that. There was no issue with the show between him and me. I just, I didn't expect it to go in the direction that it did. I was honestly really surprised that he took the position that he did about that Walmart shooting that we talked about. And that kind of just took the conversation this way. So I'll get it back over the other way. All right. Now, Robot Persona is kind of giving me a hard time here. He keeps talking about racist assholes. Sadly, Chris put up with idiots. No, I don't. And it doesn't help the conversation to just be casting aspersions around at people. It makes me feel awful, both when I do it and when I receive it from people I don't know, never heard of. I don't know who people are here. On any social media platform, that's one of the things that is dividing us, is this idea that that it's even appropriate to talk to each other that way, about each other that way, you know what I mean? Anyway, I know I'm a little archaic in ideas of manners and etiquette and all that. You guys might not know this, but here's a little bit of trivia for you. Oh, by the way, Tamara, thank you for that super chat that I did not acknowledge earlier. And thank you, PZ. Zed. I got it. Zed. Yeah, I actually got this one right. Oh, Paul, thank you. I didn't realize that was you. Okay, Grid. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Any update on Charlie Wakely, the Australian Scientologist based in London? No, he's still making videos as far as I know on his YouTube channel, and I haven't checked though in the last week. I have not checked. So I don't have any other update other than Tony actually talked about him on his blog, I think about a week or so ago. And I don't know, maybe the guy's just somehow getting away with this, or somehow it's in the church is trying to do something sneaky here and have somebody have a YouTube channel. But I don't know. The comments, as far as I know, they're still up. Oh, no, I think he hides my comments somehow. I think I still see them, but he hides them from other people somehow. I think there's some goofy thing he's doing.
Little trick. Okay.
That's what I heard. Okay. Now, I was going to give you some trivia about the Sea Org, which is that in the Sea Org, there's an entire course that you do about etiquette and manners. And I'm not saying I miss manners, but I will tell you that I have read a lot of Miss Manners. It's on the course. There's a whole book and about etiquette, about manners, about how to talk to people, about ship etiquette, about all kinds of stuff. And the Sea Org is not the place where that really gets practiced a lot internally. We treated each other like shit inside the Sea Org. But external, working with people, external to the Sea Org, working with staff, sometimes we'd be giving staff the hard, side of our tongue. We'd be like, I never hit a staff member, but I certainly screamed at a few of them. But that was always you try to do that behind closed doors, right? You always want to keep this public face of, the Mr. Rourke smiles, everybody smiles, right? Everything's always got to look good. So I'm just kind of, a little more tuned into that whole concept, I guess, because I did a whole entire course about it, and I think it matters. I don't know. I think it does. I know about a year or something ago, there was, guys, there was a whole thing about how people were trashing civility. There was this effort. I guess it was perceived as some right-wing effort to shut people up on the left by calling for civility. And to me, that kind of is the same level of stupid. Whether it was coming from the left or the right, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I remember about it, okay? I'm not saying these are the facts of the situation. It's just my dim recall of it. But I do remember civility being trashed, being like just made fun of. It was old. It's not stupid. We should be able to say what's on our mind. you know, and of course you get that from young people mostly,
Yeah.
or really nasty old people. But, you know, civility, manners, etiquette, this is the grease of human relations. You know, these things were invented so we could get along despite our disagreements, despite hating one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, etiquette and manners and rules of conduct are what allow enemies to meet after war and accept surrender and work things out. They still hate each other, you know, for the
Right.
most part.
But they compromise and figure it out.
Exactly. So anyway, whatever. Just wanted to make that point. I get that it's falling on deaf ears, but I get it. Let me see. This being a call-in show, where we're at. Oh, look at this. Okay, good. It's me. Okay, good. Danny Masterson case. Hello, you are on the air, me.
Hi, I said Henny again.
Yes, Henny. And it comes out, hi, it's me. I figured it was you, but
Yep.
I wanted to make sure.
Of
Okay.
course.
Hey, Henny.
It's me. And civility does matter. It's the most important thing, and it's not falling on deaf ears.
Thank you.
And I want you to know that. Hello, Melissa. Hello,
Hello.
Devin. Love you guys. I am so happy to hear that this is that Danny Masterson was finally arrested for his crime. It was,
Yeah.
It's really, it's mind blowing that it took this long, but I'm glad that it finally came to fruition.
Me
and
too.
I hope that he gets what he deserves. I really do.
Oh,
And
yes.
Yeah. 45 years would be nice.
yeah, well, listen, yes, absolutely, that would be nice. It really would.
Yeah.
And I hope so. So, and I'm glad that it finally came through. Also, I wanted to say that I watched your show the other day with the policemen.
Yeah.
And even though I was on your side quite a lot, okay, and I was boiling, I actually enjoyed the show.
Oh, good.
Because, because it shows someone else's point of view, even though it's extremely different from my own.
Yep.
It really is important that we see it and that we hear it.
Exactly.
Because you have to hear both sides. You know, there's
exactly.
both.
And
if it.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I was
go ahead. Tell me.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say, you know, I did not see coming at all that we were going to get into when he started talking about the exhaustion of the job. And you know, how and how it just brings you down and you get into this mindset, this day after day sort of thing. And I didn't see that coming, but I was really glad it came out, because then we could actually talk about what's going on in these people's heads. It's not all racism, and it's not all black, horrible, evil, black-hearted bastards. It's some people who are burnt out and they need help. You know, and I know that's an awful thing to say right now, that cops need help, but they do.
Well, certain people are cut out for certain jobs as well.
Exactly. Right. The vetting process.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Those
guys
it's
in
so
Minnesota,
important.
They should never have been cops.
Right.
They should never have been cops.
Exactly.
That guy, yeah, he should never have been on the force. So,
well, it has to come from both ways.
Exactly.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
It has to come from both ways. It's I went to a job app, you know, to apply, and I sit down and I'm filling out the application with everyone. And one of the things that the woman says is, this job requires quietness. I got up, I handed the application in, and I walked out the door. Why? Because I'm not quiet.
Right, exactly.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
Totally.
So it takes a lot of knowing what you want, what you're able to do, what you're not able to do, and also vetting. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Psychological things need to be done.
That's right.
On the 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And also, you know, human relations needs to be done. A part of that gentleman that called a while ago and said the police where he is don't even carry guns. I mean, that's amazing.
Right?
It
Right.
really is. It is. It's important that we take into consideration all aspects of this job, because it is a job that requires a lot of skill and dedication, and not everybody's cut out for it, and that's how I feel.
I completely agree with you. Yeah, we're on the same page there.
I know we're on the same page a lot, but listen. I don't want you to feel bad about how the show went.
Thank you.
I got some advice. Once, and it was from my coach, who said to me, "Penny, you have to learn how to be comfortable in your uncomfortableness."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow, that's really heavy, and that's hard to do." But just to make it so say, okay, it's absolutely not the way I wanted it to go, but there was some positive that came out of it anyway.
Exactly.
And so that's how I viewed that interview, and I did enjoy listening to it. I did, and watching it. You're terrific.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you again, and I'm enjoying the show. So
cool.
I'll let you go.
All
okay.
right, Annie, talk to you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, good stuff. And yeah, I really want to break that stuff down on the vetting and the community relations part. We didn't even touch that on yesterday, but I got a lot to say about that too, because that is actually probably the at the end of the day, that's probably actually the most important component of this whole thing.
Right.
And it's the one that they have been the least effective at overall. There are some areas in the country where the cops and the people that they are policing actually do get along.
Yeah.
They actually do know each other. They actually but it's small places. It's the big cities don't have this drill down at all. They have it completely backwards. And that's gonna take a long time to deal with. But I want to talk about that in more detail when I'm more prepared for that. So yeah, good stuff. As we still having fun in the comments there? Okay, great. Okay, let's go to this next caller here. Hello, you are on.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, it's Luann again.
Luann, yes.
Yes. I just called back because, I remembered, yesterday on that show when I was listening to it, I thought about that, how he was saying that the person was carrying a gun through the Walmart and was shot.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I guess I don't know how I missed that story. But
it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So,
it wasn't a recent story.
So I was thinking, so if I would have went to the store and carried a toy gun through the store, it would have been okay to shoot me because I was buying a gift for,
Exactly.
my nephew or whatever, because I was carrying that gun through a store.
Right.
I didn't get how they could justify that at all.
I didn't either, yeah.
They seem to think it's okay that anytime a cop gets nervous, they can shoot somebody. And it's like, we have to teach cops how to stay calm and assess the situation better.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because, I worked in a psych field for a long time. We didn't get to carry guns.
Right.
I mean, we didn't carry guns, and we still had to deal with the same people that they deal with. Maybe not the really bad criminals, but we had to deal with some pretty crazy people that, we still had to learn how to be compassionate with and keep people from getting hurt. We couldn't just take our gun out and shoot them because I thought that they were going to hurt us.
Exactly. And cops shouldn't have that right either. You know, I
No,
mean,
they shouldn't.
you know, not like that. Not when there are other options. I mean, there are probably 20 other things that could have happened at that Walmart that day that could have made that situation de-escalate instead of them coming in
Well,
and escalating it, you know? And that was a massive failure in their response on every level. I mean, just at every part of that. And it wasn't analyzed that way. No charges were brought. You know, it was really just railroaded over. It was just whitewashed, and it was a tragic injustice. Right? Two people lost their life over it. You know,
it truly is. It truly is. I know that we spent many hours in trainings for, diversity and diffusing situations and conflict management and conflict resolution and
exactly.
you name it, we did it. And so if the police aren't doing that, they should be. And if they are, then they all need to be doing something different because it isn't working.
Exactly. You know, I'll have to give you one example. This guy writes this book. This guy is Chris Voss. And this book is called Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as If Your Life Depended on It. This guy was the top FBI international negotiator for years, which means he was the negotiator for United States hostages around the world. For years, this guy developed techniques of how to do negotiation. Now he teaches it professionally in the business world. But, you know, these are the kind of skills. I read that book, it changed the entire way I approach dealing with a problem with somebody. You know, this is the kind of data that all of them need to be exposed to, not just the hostage negotiators, you know. They all need this training. And if it takes 2 years to make a cop, then so be it. That's what it takes. I mean, I don't know that it has to take that long, but I don't know that it shouldn't either. I think we really need to relook at this whole thing.
I couldn't agree more, Chris. I couldn't agree more. I have a 20-year-old black grandson that I worry about daily. Every time he leaves my house, I worry.
Yeah.
Worried that he's going to do something? No, I don't worry about him. He's a good kid. He's a responsible kid. Never been in any kind of trouble in his life. You know, but sometimes it don't matter.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. And these guys need to be tested, you know.
Yeah.
It's like stress tested.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly. All kinds of psych tests.
Well, actually, I mean in terms of being drilled, being run through very specific scenarios over and over and over and over, so they are able to keep a level head during intense emotional encounters. You know, that's a vital skill. So
I agree.
Yeah. Do you have any?
It's just sad.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, exactly. I was kind of wondering, do you have any other ideas on training? Because I've thought of some, but I don't think I've thought of everything.
No, I really don't. Other than what you have said, you know, taking more of you know, a longer period of time, putting them through, you know, more vetting, more testing, or whatever it needs to take. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, just make sure that they're not going to react irrationally.
Exactly. And that's a skill that can't be. Yeah, you can't overestimate the importance of that skill. That's something we really need with these guys. So.
Yep. I agree.
Cool.
All right. Well, have a good night.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Q.
All right.
Good. Okay, guys. Yeah, good stuff. Cool. All right, we got a clear queue. If anybody wants to call in, now's the time to do it, because we're probably going to be moving towards... I don't want to wrap up quite yet. I'm having such a good time. But this is a call-in show. What was this now, Flint? And why it's so bad now. What used to be trained in the new way and why it's so bad now. Oh, I'm sure there's a few ways. Yeah, Flint, you and I should hook up. You can tell me all about it. I'll probably call you in a day or two, or we can have some message interchanges. Yeah. Oh, you know, something else I'm going to throw out there that I know some people might have their heads explode over this, but I'm going to say it out loud and proud anyway. And that is that this thing about banning chokeholds is not a good idea. And I know that there are people who think that I'm insane right now, so please let me explain that. What I mean in saying that is that if you take that away from police officers, I want you to understand what you're doing, which is that by removing their ability to subdue and bring a person down, without breaking their neck. Obviously, I'm talking about doing it right, not doing it wrong. But if you do it right, that is how you subdue a person without injuring them or hurting them actually or killing them, if you do it right. And it's not really that hard to do if you do it right.
Yeah.
But the point is that if you take that away and you don't substitute it with some other soft form of compliance, direction, right, control, then all you've left an officer with is a gun and a billy club. And you start hitting somebody upside the head with a billy club, you're going to cause them brain damage. And that's permanent. That could be life-changing. That could be life-destroying. You get somebody down in a chokehold, they go out and they wake up, they got the cuffs on, they're in the back of the car, everybody's happy. And that happens way more often than you might imagine if you don't get into this world and look at how they actually do things. We don't want cops doing chokeholds against innocent people. We don't want them beating up on innocent people. We don't want them doing anything with innocent people. That's a given. But when you're talking about bad guys, we're stripping them of these things that they have in their skill set or toolbox to subdue bad guys. Remember, bad guys are why we have cops in the first place. And they're out there and they're real. And they haven't gone anywhere. And I'm pretty sure some of them are watching this going down and going, yeah, this is great, So just something else to keep in mind. This is, again, not a hill I'm going to die on. It's just a point I wanted to make because I think it's an important one, that it looks good. Cosmetically, you might think you've done something positive in taking away police officers' ability to restrain somebody without actually hurting them. But then all you've left the cop with is the gun or the billy club or his fists. And none of those things are a good way to go with that. So anyway, just wanted to make that point. Okay, so I'll probably make it again next week or something. I'm always reminded of aliens. When they okay, everybody, put your guns away, and they're like, okay, what are we supposed to use? Harsh language?
Exactly.
What are we supposed to do here? You got to give them the tool set that they need to get the job done that you want them to do too.
Yeah, sometimes there's situations where people are a serious threat to everyone around them, and the cops have to do something about that. It sucks, but it is the way it is.
Yeah. What's the definition of a bad guy? Murder, carjacking, allegedly passing dud banknotes. I'll tell you something about passing banknotes. I'll tell you something about financial crimes. Here in the U.S., we are pathetic on white-collar crime punishment.
Yeah.
I mean, I got my own things to say about...
Rob one guy, you go to jail for a couple years. If you rob everybody, you get to stay out of jail somehow.
Yeah, I know. It's a little annoying. So, but anyway, obviously... The point about bad guys is that they're bad guys. They're people who mean to do us harm. There are criminals out there. They're real. They exist. All right. Cool. So that all being said, let me check one more time. All right, good. All right, guys. I think we're gonna move toward wrapping up the show. I think this was a good one. And I'm glad we talked about all the things that we did. I'm glad we had a chance to talk about some of this stuff. I know we're going to get controversial calls. I actually want them. I want more controversial calls. I want more people calling in with some pretty crazy ideas because I would like to talk to them about those ideas. And you're not going to see me sit here and just hang up on somebody because they, have some belief that they're espousing. I want to talk to them about that and find out what that's about. That's kind of the point of why I started doing this, is so I could learn more from people who have different points of view than I do. because I've come to learn coming out of Scientology that when you're stuck on one fixed, dedicated point of view, and this is the truth and there can't be any other, that's not a good place to be. It's taken me years to get over that. You know, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, that they have the truth. I got the truth. Ugh, it's the worst, man. So, all right, guys. Thank you all to support you guys. Really, really, really appreciated it. And you have anything you wanted to say before we wrap up?
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I got things I want to say, but I don't want to get you in trouble.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure that you say those next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Oh, and let us do one more check in on Seven.
Oh,
There he is, still sleeping away. What? What? Oh, interesting. Okay, I guess maybe we woke him up. All right, so we get our little glimpse of Seven there. All right, guys. Let me go here and end this stream. All right. Thanks for coming around, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.